Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. So if you're new here, I am Suyesh and I share tech insights, coding tips, project demos and practical breakdowns to help developers level up their skill. So if that sounds like your vibe, consider subscribing to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking about something deceptively simple but super important, Base64 encoding. You might have seen it in APIs and web apps and maybe even in images embedding in HTML files. But what makes it so important? How does it work, and why it is so essential in software development? We will also walk through the key use cases of Base64 encoding, and we will break them down and explore how Base64 helps us move data more securely and efficiently across different systems. So Base64 is a binary to text encoding method that converts binary data to a readable format using 64 characters. Now what these 64 characters are, first of all we'll be taking A to Z of uppercase characters, then we'll be taking smaller case characters from A to Z, and then we'll be moving on to numerical characters from 0 to 9. And then there will be two more characters. First is the plus and then equal to. So all this comprises of the 64 characters. Now how it works is first the encoding method converts all the characters to binary format, and then it splits the binary string to 6-bit chunks, and these 6-bit chunks are basically mapped to 64 Base64 characters. Now that we know what Base64 encoding is and how it works, let's check out an example of encoding a binary file to a Base64 string and decoding the Base64 string back to the binary file. So I'll quickly move to IntelliJ IDEA. You can use any other IDE that you like, and I'm going to create a Java project. I will click on new project and name it as Base64 conversion demo, and I will select language as Java, and build system I will keep it as IntelliJ. Remember, this is now a normal Java project, so we are not choosing MIME over IntelliJ. And then you can choose any JDK version that you have. I'm going to go with 19. You can check in on your advanced settings, and I will select the location for my project, and I will click on create once it is okay. I'll just check the location once again so that okay, this is the folder. Great. So I'll click on create. Our project is created, and I'm going to create a package inside of our source package. Let me just close this warning, and then I will create another package, and let's just call it demo. Inside the demo package, I will create a class called PDF to Base64, and PDF to Base64. Okay, I'll add it to the repository. Then I will create the main method inside, and I will start with a try catch block, and then inside the try, okay, let me just finish this catch block real quick. Add an exception object. Okay, so inside the try block I will create a file object, and I will name the file as sample.pdf. I think my IDE is a bit slow. Okay, just fine. I will also create in the next line a file input stream object. File input stream object, I'll call it as FIS, and I'll pass the file object to it. Then I'll also initialize a byte array named PDF bytes with the length of the file object. So let's go with the file dot length. Okay, so I need to actually cast it into integer, so let me just add this. And then I'm going to read the byte array. So using file input stream object, and I'll just close it now. So what we wrote till now is basically for reading the file. I specified the path first and then I read the file. So I'll just add a comment over here. So now I will write the code to encode base64. So I'll create a string base64 string, let's call it base64 string, and call the base64 get encoder method of base64 and pass the byte array to it. So base64 encoding was officially introduced in Java version 8 as a utility class, so you can find it under java.util.base64. Now let us also print the PDF string thus formed as a result of encoding. Now I'll just pass the PDF string right here. Let's also give one success message first. Okay, this is done. Now we'll in the catch block just print the stack trace. Now let's run it. So as you can see, the PDF string is printed in the console below. Also you can, if you scroll up, you can see the success message is also there. Now I will try and copy the entire PDF string thus formed. Let's get all of it and paste it somewhere for now. Okay, this is a bit tiring thing to copy the entire string. So let's get all of it and paste it somewhere for now. Or let me actually create a new class to decode this back to the PDF. So I will name this class as base64 to PDF and I will create it and I'll add to the repository. And now I will try and copy the entire PDF string and pasting it here inside the try catch block. I'll create one string object in the try. Let's just complete the catch block first. Okay, this is done. So let's create the string object. Okay, so I'll just call it as base64 string and paste the copied string from earlier inside the single quotes. This is a bit of a trouble copying everything, but okay, let us see if we can do it. Okay, let us scroll up and see. Okay, so I think we also copied the enter and new line characters and all of that, so this will not be good. Actually, this will not work for us. So let us try some other approach here. Let us move to the previous class, and in the encoding logic, let us try saving the base64 string to a separate file, and we can open the file in the decoding logic in the next class actually. So I will create a file writer object, and I will add a log file called pdf string over here, and we will save it using the write method after that. So let us try using this approach. And then I will close the file writer object as well. Let's actually run the program and let's check if the log file was created or not. Let us run this. Okay, so we are getting the success message. Let me open and check if this was done. So as you can see, okay, let me refresh. Okay, there is one pdf string file there. Yes. So I'm getting the success message in the console, and let's verify if the file was created. So I'm getting one decoded file. Let me open it and compare the contents of the original file and the decoded file. So as you can see, they are the same. Before we jump into the use cases, let's quickly understand once again what Base64 is all about. Base64 is a way to turn binary data like files or images into a text format that can be safely stored or sent through systems that only understand text. It's simple, but it solves a big problem, making sure that data doesn't break when it travels between different platforms. In this video, we will look at how Base64 helps with data integrity, compatibility, and functionality, especially in web apps, APIs, and data transfers. So let's start with a really common use case, embedding files like images or PDFs inside formats like JSON, XML, or HTML. These formats are designed to handle text, not binary data. If you try to insert a file directly, it can break the structure or cause errors because it includes special characters that don't play well with text. That's where Base64 comes in. It takes any binary file and turns it into a clean string made up of safe characters, letters, numbers, and a few symbols, just a few. In this way, the file can be safely included in a text-based format without messing up anything. In short, Base64 makes it possible to send files through systems that only understand text. Let's move to our use case second. So let's talk about email. Specifically, how attachments like PDFs or images actually make it from sender to receiver without getting messed up. The thing is, email was originally built to handle plain text, just basic 7-bit ASCII characters. So if you try to send a binary file directly, it could get corrupted or maybe rejected by the mail server. To fix this, we use something called MIME. So MIME is a protocol that helps email handle different type of content. And guess what? MIME uses Base64 to encode those binary files into a safe text format that email systems can understand. Once the email reaches the recipient, their mail app decodes the Base64 string back into the original file. So everything works smoothly and the attachment stays intact. Now let's look at how Base64 helps in messaging systems like WebSockets, Kafka, and RabbitMQ, which are super common in real-time apps and microservices. So if you are a developer who has dealt with microservices architecture, you would be knowing about Kafka and RabbitMQ. Even though some of these systems can handle binary data, they often default to sending plain text. That is because it is easier to work with text across different languages and libraries. So what happens when you need to send a PDF or any binary file? You use Base64. It converts the file into a clean text string that can safely travel through these systems without getting corrupted or misread. Once it reaches the other side, you just decode it back to original file, which is safe, simple, and reliable, even when the system prefers text. Now let's move towards the fourth use case. So this is basically inlining assets with data URIs in web browsers. So full stack developers or front-end developers know about this. So let's talk about the clever trick that web developers use in their daily life, using data URIs to inline assets directly into your HTML, CSS, or JavaScript. Instead of making separate HTTP requests or small files like icons, fonts, or even mini PDF previews, you can actually embed them directly into your code. This can speed up the page loads and reduce network chatter. But here's the catch. If the asset isn't plain text, like a PDF or an image is present, you need to Base64 encode it first. That's what make it browser friendly. For example, if you are embedding a tiny PDF in an iframe tag or using a Base64 image in a CSS background, it would look something like data application PDF followed by the encoded string. Without Base64, the browser wouldn't actually know how to handle the binary data and things would break. So this technique is perfect for self-contained components and offline first. In the fifth use case, we have storing binary data in text-based databases. So let's say that you're working with a database that doesn't play nicely with binary files. Maybe it's an older system or a NoSQL database that mostly deals with strings. Even though modern databases like PostgreSQL or MongoDB support binary types, There are times when you need to store a PDF or an image in a plain text field like varchar or text. That's where Base64 comes in. It converts the binary file into a long string of characters that fits perfectly into these text fields. When you need the original file back, you just decode the string. Sure, it adds about 33% more data in terms of size, but it is a reliable workaround when binary support is limited in your database. It's also handy during migrations. So if you're migrating your entire DB from SQL to NoSQL or vice versa, at that time Base64 would come really handy, because Base64 strings will not get affected when you are migrating your data between systems and different capabilities. So Base64 isn't just a hack, it's a flexible tool for keeping your data safe and compatible across diverse database setups. Now let's talk about the use case 6th. URLs and cookies, two things that are everywhere in web development. Both of these are designed to carry text, and they have pretty strict rules about which characters are allowed. If you try to include raw binary data like encrypted tokens or file previews, it can break the URL or cause parsing errors in cookies. That's where Base64 saves the day again. It turns binary data into clean, safe string that fits nicely into a URL or cookie without causing any issues. So whether you are sending a small PDF identifier, a compressed preview, or a secure token, Base64 makes sure it gets there intact and can be decoded properly on the other side. It is a simple fix that keeps your web communication smooth and error-free. Moving on to the 7th use case. So here comes the code generation for offline PDF access. This is a pretty unique way actually to convey the information or communicate the information. So let's wrap up with a clever offline tip. Using QR codes is no new thing. People are using QR codes to do their transactions, bankings and stuff like that. So basically QR can also be made to transfer the PDFs. Normally QR codes hold text like URL or contact info, but with Base64 we can encode an entire small PDF into a string that can be embedded directly into the QR code. Picture this: you are at a conference and there is a poster with a QR code. You scan it and boom, your phone instantly reconstructs a speaker's abstract handout. Or even if you are offline, behind the scenes the PDF is first converted to Base64, then packed into the QR code. When scanned, your device decodes the string and opens the document directly. Of course, QR code have size limits, so this works best for tiny PDFs or compressed files, but it's a brilliant way to share content in places where connectivity is spotty or non-existent. And moving on to the last use case curated in our video. So this is front-end previewing without saving the file. So when you upload a file and you want to preview it, and you have to go to the server first. I mean, you need to save it to the server first. But with Base64, it doesn't have to be that way. In modern web apps, especially document editors or image tools, users expect instant previews. Base64 makes that possible by converting the file's binary content into a text-based string right in the browser. That string gets embedded into the iframe or embed tag using a data URI. The browser treats it like the real file and renders it instantly. No upload, no waiting, and no privacy concerns, because the file stays local until the user decides to submit or save it. It is fast, secure, and user-friendly, exactly what great front-end experiences are made of and expected to be. So those were the most common use cases where converting to and from Base64 encoding is essential in software development. This video is the first in a series of 9, and in the next 8 videos I'll be demonstrating each of these use cases in detail. I'll be organizing them into a playlist for you guys. So stay tuned and subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up if you found this helpful. If you think of any other use cases that I missed, feel free to share them in the comment section, and see you in the next one.